One. I timed that so great. How you guys doing today? Let me hear my co-host. I haven't heard your voice yet.
What's goody, fam? How are you doing this afternoon? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Ness. Welcome to the space. Don't forget to like and retweet the space to show your host some love and support if you haven't done so already. You can take your retweet back later on after the show is over. And if you want, if you have friends and people that want to come in and join, please feel free to do so. If you cannot speak, you can drop a comment down. I will be going through the comments personally to help out our host, so this way they're not overabundant with too much work. But yeah, I want to start with the topic yet, so I'll pass it to our secondary co-host. Let's go. Let's get it.
Hi, I'm Heck. I'm here so I won't get fired.
Good. Better show up. He was like, "What's happening again?" And I said, "Upside down smiley face." That's what I said.
You still didn't send me the link. I was trolling. I knew what was coming on, but I was waiting for that link.
Oh,
You got
my bad. You should have.
this
I
terrible
mean,
customer service.
it's called communication. That's what it's called. I can't read your mind, all city.
Well, if this is about expressing, I am terrible communicator.
Oh, dang. Did I pick the co-host of the hour or what?
I'm just gonna be a pain in the ass. That's what I do.
You bring the vibes. That's good. We need the pain in the ass in the room sometimes. There's always that one person, you know what I'm saying? All right, so today's topic, let's start it off with, and again, feel free to come up if you have things to say later in the space. Come up right now if you feel comfortable and confident enough. It's really not a yes or no question. It's really subjective to who you are and what you believe, and what you believe, especially in yourself. So, if you're one of those people that feel like, oh shit, is she talking to me? I may be, but it doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything in the room. We're having a conversation, a discussion, and it's all good if you don't agree. But I'd love to hear perspectives. I'd love to hear the discussion. We are going to be having a space for a good amount of time. So I made sure that we had enough questions for, you know, a good amount of time. I'm not saying, how long it's going to be, but I see you guys. When you start from beginning to end, like All City and Ness, that's how you become a co host. No, just joking. But I love the topic of expressing too much. It's something that I definitely have struggled with in real life, at least. I wouldn't say I'm super open on social media in terms of how I feel. It has been really hard for me to express my self confidence in pictures and videos. And if you look at my page right now, you'd be like, yeah, right. But no, for sure, there was a time in my life where I struggled with knowing and believing that I was worthy enough to put myself out there in that way. And um is it too much? When I asked this question, I was like, yeah, is it too much? Am I posting a little too much? But we'll get to that later. Definition of expressing too much. Ness or All City, do you want to maybe give your perspective first, and then I'll kind of tag along? I don't really matter. It doesn't really matter who goes or if both of you go, but if someone's ready to maybe give their own definition of expressing too much, we'd love to hear it.
Definitely, definitely. Well, for me, and I'll keep this on the eye. Sometimes I get it that it's a little hard for me to express myself, but then I do realize that sometimes I might be expressing too much. In terms of like whether it might be. Sorry for the background noise in advance. I'm in a homeless shelter, so I apologize. But when I say expressing too much for myself, it's moreover just I'm giving too much information out or letting people know a lot more about me than I should. But I'm doing it more in a transparent sense. Now, when it comes to like business, that's a different subject altogether. Because in business, I don't disclose too much information unless it's like with my team or if it's something that everyone needs to know. So it's like on a need to know basis. But that's just me personally. But yeah, that's basically it. That's all I got.
Okay, All City, you got anything or you want me to go?
Yeah, I mean, this is a super complicated topic, right? Because you see people like put their whole business out there daily and then get all types of attention for it and become celebrities and shit, like just off of like just putting themselves out there and like embarrassingly. And like then you have people like me that don't share shit and I don't want people in my business at all. And then like once in a while I'll say something like semi cryptic that I'm going through something, and then I'll get like 13 DMs, and then I feel guilty because I made people worry about me or something. So I like it's a complicated thing for me. I don't know the balance, but I do see that people make something out of themselves off of giving way too much information about their life. So I guess it depends on how much you care about other people's energy and protecting other people's energy, because what you put out there is what other people receive. And I'm very protective of other people's energy. That's just how I am. I'm very considerate of other people. But, you know, I mean, different strokes, different folks.
Yeah, I think this topic's very subjective, like many things in life. It's based off of what you believe. And I think one thing you could think about when you're expressing yourself or just posting in general is the goal. What is your goal if you say this? What kind of reaction are you trying to get out of someone? What kind of intention do you have by putting out these words? Because also on social media, once you type something and post it, it's probably never going to go away. It's probably never going to not be there anymore. I know in the past, not with me personally, but I've heard of different stories of people and their jobs, like saying something on social media and later their job finding out like, hey, you said this, like we don't agree with that, you're fired. So, to an extent, I think it matters on what kind of goal and who you want to be remembered as. You're right. Some people do say what they feel and whatever comes to them off the top of their head, but like, they're attracting that audience, people who don't care and say things off the top of their head. But if you're trying to attract a specific type of person and want that environment, like for example, if you're trying to be a musician and you want people who are around you that are interested in the same thing, you're not going to necessarily post non-music stuff. You can, and it's not gonna be bad if you do. But I guess that kind of segues into our next point. What's the importance of balancing expression? I was actually brought to the thought of music and expressing yourself creatively. I think there is truth in being able to express yourself creatively through a hobby or um, music or art or different avenues, definitely. But finding that balance of how to maybe not express it so openly in public, and maybe find a channel that is allowing you to kind of release that stress and whatever feeling or emotion you have in a healthy way. Because sometimes putting your putting your feelings onto paper or onto creativity, you can look back at it and think like, damn, I was going through it. Like, you listen to a song that you made and you're just like, whoo, that was a bad day. I know I've made what is it called, flower crowns, or paintings, and they always say when you create something and you, especially for the purpose of selling it or giving it away, you want to put energy into it that is going to be given to the next person who benefits from that artwork or from that creativity in a positive way. If you're mad, you just got out of an argument with your significant other and then you go to paint and everything's black and gray and you're like giving it to your mom and it's like, damn, like why are you giving me, but it's subjective like we said before. But I do think there's some truth in finding that balance. And I'd love to hear. I see Jajokal. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Maybe you could correct me so I can say it right. But I'd love to hear, you came on the stage. If this is not the question you want to speak to, that's totally fine. But I'd love to hear maybe ways that you feel you balance yourself in expressing in real life, on social media, or just in general. Are you open to it?
Yeah, I don't mind. And yeah, you're saying it right, Jojo. Jojo depends on, I guess, how you want to say it. So, um, yeah, I came up because I think this is a very interesting topic. I think that there has to be a balance, right? But it's also subjective to the person and to the situation. So, like, disclosure, I've been in a lot of therapy, right? And for some people, telling, at least maybe even 20 years ago, telling people you've been in therapy would have been sharing too much. But one thing I've learned is sometimes you have to break the ice with those hard topics because people are afraid to talk about them. And so when you do break the ice with uncomfortable topics, then, they might be willing to express themselves as well. And, healing can begin being there for one another. But I guess oversharing, like, it just depends on the situation. But like, I've gotten to a point in my life where I balance it out by, okay, this person's going through something I went through. Let me share with them my experiences to kind of help them out. And, but I may not necessarily share that with everybody I meet. That makes sense.
For sure. I think protecting your energy is huge, 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 huge. And I've learned, I agree that it is a very helpful thing to do when sharing your downfalls. I mean, empowerment time is all about sharing your lessons learned, but um, sometimes, I don't know if this is negative to say, but it's not worth wasting your breath to try and show someone or prove a point that is not being gotten some, I don't know the word. But I do see Jessica and Harley came up. It looks like they may have some input, so I'd love to hear what you guys got in your perspective with this question.
Hi everyone. Oh, okay. Hi guys. Yes, it's super early here. So yeah, I just heard your your question, and I was like, I was thinking, and just like you, whenever I hear a topic that's really interesting to me, I kind of think of myself, what could be the answer to that. So I'm thinking, maybe the if you know the measurement of too much for you, then they say that too much is really, you know um, they say it's really bad, or if it's too much already, it's bad. So if you know how much, or if you know how to measure the too much, then you know when to overshare or not to overshare, or when you are oversharing already. So I tend to do that most of the times. But if you have like self-awareness that you're doing that already, that you are oversharing, then you know that to yourself, and that's a gift because not everyone has that. And you can tell yourself that, oh, next time I won't share that. It's like my mouth slipped and I got too excited and I share that. And yeah, those are the lessons to us. They're like, we have to go through all that so that we experience that. And it's different when it's like just shared to you, because it's not your experience. They are telling you that, oh, when you share this, it's like it feels bad because I overshare. And you as a person listening, you can't really feel what the other person's feeling. You can only feel the way it is if you are the one experiencing it already. So It's like you have to go through all that, all of the things that we are going through. I really believe that we have to go through all that to to be able to achieve the growth. Because I've been through a situation that is really really hard, and I didn't understand why it's happening to me. It's like, God, I was so good. Like, I did not do anything wrong, but why I'm having this? It's like it's really hard. It's very hard. But then um, this is, I'm thankful that the universe gave me this curious mind, and it's like I understand that it needs to happen, so that I will be able to understand. Um, that we have to go through all of these hard situations for you to step up, or for you to grow. So someone says this one time on Spaces, I think. It's like, this is how we are. It's like, while we are alive, we are growing. So there's gonna be there's gonna be another lesson. There's gonna be, sometimes we think we know the answers already. This happens to me most of the times. Sometimes, oh, that, like, you realize that you know the answer already, but then afterwards the universe will show you that you were wrong all along. So whenever you feel like, oh, it's like you figured it out already, everything, but then there's his way, or there's their way to show you as well that no. It's like it's their way to, for you to grow one more step. So it's it's so beautiful to, I'm too observant. um when you observe, around, and that's how you can also, you know this this skill, maybe, I don't know if this is a skill, or um this has been the thing that has helped me, being observant, and always curious, always asking why. And when you ask the why, and you're willing to go ahead and find the answers of the why, you will unlock too many too many, even the smallest problem, you can get um like remedies, or those are the realizations, like. And so it's like the measurement, when you're this when you have, because that's what I asked myself when I heard the question. So what's the problem there? It's the too much. It's not the expressing one, because every emotion should be expressed. you know if you're sad, you have to be sad, because that's why you're sad. If you're happy, you don't have to suppress that. Be happy. That's why you're feeling that. You have to express that. And if you're mad, you have to express that as well. You don't have to suppress that, because it will pass. It will pass. And that's why it's like, no, it's not the expressing that's wrong. It's like, for me, okay, it's not the expressing that is wrong, it's the too much. Is Oh, okay, so that's the keyword there. It's the too much. So how will you know that it's too much? So if you have like self-awareness, like, oh, it's too much. So why did you think that it's too much? Did you saw the face of your, someone talking to you that got, um you saw that it's like annoyed or something? So maybe, yeah. I'm sorry, I talked too much. I'm sorry.
No, you make some great points. I think you're right. It's not bad to express yourself, but I do think it depends on the environment you're in. I think it also depends on how you present it, you know. But it's very subjective. It's very subjective. I'll go to
Well,
Ness. Oh, sorry. Did you have something else?
I don't know. Yeah, I just have to, agree with that. That um, for the emotions, it's subjective, but that's just the general idea for me. Like, whatever you feel, you don't have to, suppress it. But It's subjective, because yeah, go ahead. I don't know. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna complete all that. I'll take 4 hours if I do. So thank you guys.
We're gonna be here for a while, so stay on the stage. You, sure you can contribute to other things. Ness, and then we'll go to Jessica if that's all right.
No, certainly, certainly, certainly. No, there was something that you said, probably that actually resonated with me, and that was that saying like at times, and I've actually caught myself on several occasions where I may overexpress something out of anger, and this is something that you also said, Max, too. Like I may say something out of anger, so I'll like I'll like take my time to write a rant. So this way, it's like, okay, I'm really thinking of what I'm going to say and choosing my words a little more carefully. So this way, now I'm not like being overly intrusive on somebody else's or infringing on somebody else's thoughts and feelings about certain topics. So that's one of the key things that I like to tell people is like, like when you're taking the time to write something, don't write out of anger. Just really think of like the words you're going to use. And I like the analogy you used with your paintings, because that's something that I do with my music. Like I don't do my music out of my emotions. I do, well, out of the happy emotions, yes, but not of my sad emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to set too horrible of a tone when it comes to like my music, um, or even like the little bit of art that I am doing now. Like I tell people, like if you're going to do like, especially if you're doing art, music, or any other form like interpretive dance and whatnot, express yourself, but let the crowd know exactly what you're expressing and how you're feeling either at the beginning or the end of like what you're doing. So this way, they're not feeling just going away when you actually like give them that piece of art or they hear that piece of music or if they see you dancing and whatnot, they're not going, oh, what's going on, versus you're giving them a heads up in advance to let them know, hey, listen, I might be going through something right now. And this is how I feel about it. So I'm expressing it through this form of medium and entertainment that I like to utilize. Um, but also, and this is for everyone else, I like to do this with my own spaces. If you have a point where at any given point, just raise your hand and do one of these little numbers here. Just do a wave emoji so that way we know that you are next. I will be doing my best to stay on this screen while I'm looking at my PC as well. So, yes, but I'll pass back to next. Thank you, or whoever was next. I don't remember who was next, but thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead, Jessica.
Hey, hey, Megs. I want to say thanks for allowing me to speak in the space. My kids are in the background, so they're gonna be pretty loud. Okay, no, but when I think about this, and see, my son is already on it. Look, so when I think about this, I think back to the time where I was using social media, specifically Facebook, for how y'all were saying like when negative things happen, but there wasn't a lesson behind it. Like there, it was just me being negative. It was just me putting like using it as a public diary, and that was just not the thing to do. Like that's not, for me, that's expressing too much. That's sharing too much of the personal, because when you get to the point where you're like, oh, all these bad things are happening to me, you stay in that negative mindset and you stay in that negative place and you're not coming out of it, right? So that's, for me, one of the aspects of expressing and sharing too much on social media. But yeah, like if you are going through something or something happened to you and you're sharing the lesson, that's one thing. If you're telling the story and you're like, y'all, this happened to me, but at the end of it, I had this revelation, like that's something else. And then there's also the point of business wise, sharing too much of what you're working on. There is a thing of building in public, like I've been in the space. I definitely get like sharing what you're working on, allowing people in your community to be a part of what you're creating, asking them questions. But there also has to be a certain wall that you're putting up that people have to kind of prove themselves that they are trustworthy enough to share with, if that makes sense. So like specifically if someone was to sign up for your Discord group, an exclusive type of community, that's when you start getting a little bit more personal with the things that you're sharing, especially if it's about your business and the things that you're working on, and allowing them to be the ones that are sharing more of the feedback, because now you have a very targeted type of, or specific group of people that are giving the feedback to you. But I have seen a lot of times where coming onto social media and we're oversharing, we're just oversharing all the time. Like there has to be a point where we decide, okay, I have to take a step back and work on some of these things, even if it's personal or professional. I'm taking that moment. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna just do this over here in the back side, and I'm gonna just share with y'all some of the things every now and then what's going on. But there have been a lot of good points. I just feel like also when you're sharing on social media, y'all cannot control the feedback that you get. Like I see this all the time on Twitter, like Twitter and TikTok. If you're putting something on social media, a social platform for the world to see, babes, like you cannot control the feedback that you get, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. If somebody comes on your page and they say something to you that you do not like, you have the choice to say, I'm going to respond to this, I'm not going to respond to this, I'm going to delete the comment, I'm going to remove the person, I'm going to change my privacy settings. You have to take the steps to protect yourself and what you are in your space. So you have to do those things. But definitely understand that when you share, you are giving people the green light to give their opinion on your shit. So that's just my 2 cents. um Hopefully I didn't repeat anything somebody else said, but it's just some of the things that I have personally had to deal with, and I've also just seen happen in the space. So I appreciate the time. Thank you so much. I'm a i'm a zip it. But my name is Jessica Tapia. I'm the owner of Femway. Check me out. All right, check me out. We love the communities over here. Any digital marketing, uh, content creation, that type of shit, I'm for you. Okay, so much love, many blessings, peace.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, clearly we're talking about acceptable norms, self-awareness, intentions, whether it's the environment that you're in. I guess the concept of like read the room. If it's not a space that allows you to express in the way that you're feeling, maybe separate yourself for a little bit. And then, of course, find that person or group of people. Like for me, I'm constantly trying to find a solid group of women that I can trust and specifically talk about God. Because I think if I have someone who's grounded in the Holy Spirit and in a spiritual sense, they're positive. They're having a strong mindset. They won't necessarily have to be all like, jealous or mad or, have ill intention toward me. So I encourage you to try and figure out what environment you're trying to put yourself into that allows you to express, if it's in an emotional way. If it's a creative way, then also you can find that environment as well. If you're trying to find people who are familiar in artwork, I'm all city yesterday was all like, girl, you trying too much, all these different things all at once. But it's a networking opportunity for me in a sense. It's a way for me to get in touch with so many different avenues and skills that I know I'm capable of and I have the potential to excel in. But I can't go to my artist community and be like, "Hey, let me know about this beat," or let me know about this thing regarding like writing a story on a post, because they'll probably not be an expert in that. They may not know what to say in that sense. So, um acceptable norms, different environments, and then cultural influences. I think Harley, she left the room, but I think, she was kind of touching on that subject of like, depending on where you come from and who you are as a person, that culture, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean like Spanish, white, black, Asian, like it can mean a certain environment of a culture that has a cultural norm, like the way you grew up. I'm from Hawaii. I we don't always do things in the Hawaiian way. We're a melting pot of things, so I wouldn't say like Hawaiian is one culture, but Hawaii is a mix of cultures, and we're dealing with expression differently through dance, through music, through chant. So there's different styles and levels of expression, definitely. And I see some hands. I'm going to go to Alyssa first, and then we can follow up with Jessica. Hi, Alyssa. How are you doing today? Love the three-hearted eye cat. That's a sick. I hope it's an NFT because that's sick, and I hope you own it.
Yes, of course. Hi, Megs. Thanks for having me. It's Cosmic Cats. We've been around for 2 years. This is the Cupid version of one of my cats. So it is a remake, but it's me basically. I just wanted to go on to Jessica and say like I agree with what she says, and I've been loving hearing everybody's feedback. And personally, for me, I'm kind of an open book, so it's kind of hard for me to like not share if you get my drift. I just think, you know, sharing when you are having bad times, you have to share with people that you trust and people that you love, because not everybody is for you, and not everybody is going to support you in the way that you need during that time. So that's just what I wanted to add. But I love the topic. I love this space. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alyssa. Go ahead, Jessica.
Okay, so sorry, my bad. I wanted to say to your point of community, being around the people, right? Finding the place, because you're right. Community, you can't go to one space and say something that's not going to fit in that topic, right? So, and I speak about this a lot in my spaces, as far as, because the way that I talk, I speak a lot of like of the AAVE, but I can code switch so that I can fit into certain spaces, right? So that I can fit in and speak what I need to speak, or how I need to speak in those settings. But your community is going to be made up of multiple, I know, sad face, huh? I know, trust me. I wish I didn't have to do that, but when I get around the people that make me feel comfortable, you will be able to tell when my actual, the way I talk actually comes out. So anyway, I wanted to say that your community is going to be made up of multiple communities, right? Your specific network is going to be just like, I would say like high school, like where you have friend groups, and they may not necessarily all be on the same thing, but they overlap in a way. There is a way that people are overlapping in each group, and you're able to communicate with them. But if there is something that you are missing from all of these groups, there's something that you feel like, man, I really need this. I need this type of community. Go and make it. Right, Megs? We were talking about that. Go and make that thing. If you are noticing that there are spaces, there's a space that you feel like, man, I really need to connect with these type of people, make the community. Make it. Do the space. Put it out there. It may take a while for you to gain that traction, but knowing how to identify who you want to talk to, it's going to make it easier for you to connect with them. I feel like community is the most important thing, online, offline, regardless. I'm a people's person. Ain't that how they say it? A people person. And I enjoy speaking to people and understanding why they do what they do. But sometimes you're not going to be able to, sometimes you're not going to really be able to understand somebody's intentions, right? Because some people hide their intentions very well. Some people in communities know how to know how to play a part, and then when something happens, it's they switch. So it's just being very mindful, like Alyssa said. There are going to be people that are, oh yeah, girl, oh yeah, girl, oh yeah, I'm here. And then the next moment it's like, man, it's over here. I can't even stand her. I can't stand this. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm not going to curse on your stage, but I'm just putting the I'm just putting it out there that that's how people are. There are some people in these communities that know how to play the game and they play it well. If you are missing something, find a way to build it. There are a lot of resources for you to navigate the spaces and find the people that you want to find. Just be genuine as possible when you're sharing your experiences and what you want. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go because my it's time for us to go do the things. So I appreciate your time, Megs. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I hope y'all have a really great Sunday. I'll see you later.
Amen, girl. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. Jessica is someone that I consider a mentor. I just met her 2 days ago, and I'm like, girl, me and this girl vibe. Like everything she ever
Heck
said.
yeah, that's what I'm talking
Express
about.
yourself.
Yes.
That's what the song, like that, the commercial, express yourself. That's what came to mind when you were talking. Because, girl, if sometimes even in a spiritual sense, if I gotta, like, if I'm mad at God, sometimes I gotta say like a S or sometimes even an F bomb. I hate to say it, but like I gotta be real with him because that is how I feel, and that is how I feel in that honest moment. And I don't think just like Jesus, he don't judge us, and your environment shouldn't judge you. And if they are, know that that can change at any moment. You don't have to stick around the same people all 365 days of the year. You can quit that circle. And I've done it many times. And let me tell you, sometimes the best friend that I have in my life is myself. And that's the best person that I can express to. But that's another topic that we're going to save for a little later in the space, because sometimes expressing yourself too much in your mind can overwhelm you, and it can definitely get a little crazy up in there. Ness, and then I see Ankanksha. Thank you for being here. Ness, go ahead. What happened? What happened?
No, 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 no. I don't know what happened. I guess my network rugged. That was why I was giving the sad face earlier. I apologize. No, I don't know what happened just now. So I missed like 80% of what Miss Jessica was saying, and I apologize about that. Giving you the sad face because I really, really, really wanted to hear what you had to say. But I don't know what happened. I just rugged really hard. So hopefully
You're
later
good.
I'll
Your
listen to the
service was
recording.
nervous. He was in the Matrix.
Yeah, it was.
His
Oh,
service was
I
nervous.
live in the Matrix, but no, no, no. But I know how to get up out of it too. So that's the beautiful thing about that, about being me. But no, to one point that I did hear, and which was very valuable to me, especially, is that you know, if and just for everybody, if you're not talking to your higher power, for me, it's God. Period. Like I practice Judaism, so I don't mind sharing that. I don't mind sharing certain things. So I talk to God on a regular basis. Like when I wake up, before I go to sleep, even in my sleep, I'm talking to God. Or even like doing whatever, I talk to God. And yes, you're gonna have those moments when you're angry with your higher power. You're gonna be upset. You're gonna have to. Your higher power is gonna understand those emotions. So allow those emotions to be, because that's what your higher power wants from you. It wants you to be able to express your actions, your opinions, and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, it's showing that you're growing. You know. But to your other point as well, like you don't want to put too much out there on the timeline as well. And this is because I mean, like most people, unlike myself, they're not going to try to put themselves in your shoes and understand who you are. And that's one of the key things that I try to tell people is that when you tell me something, I'm putting myself in your shoes and understanding where you're coming from, even though it is very hard to do sometimes because some people are closed minded, some people are open minded, depending on the person. you have to really put yourself in their position and understand who they are, where they're coming from, and what they're going through. And these are things that a lot of people do not practice. And I've been doing this for at least like the past 10 years of my 45-year life. All right, I'm lying. It's 10,045 years, but that's a different story for a different day. I will pass it back to our hosts. I don't know who had their hand up first. But oh no, wait! I remember you said you wanted to go to Miss Akansha, so I'll pass it back to our host, and then we'll go there from there.
Yeah, I want to just say, guys, God is real, but so is the devil. And I don't know if we want to get to a spiritual sense over here, but like, for real, if you I think you got to protect your energy. You got to protect what you say out loud, cuz sometimes the devil's listening, and if you don't believe what you're saying and you don't believe that you are more powerful than him, it's gonna it's gonna definitely react. It's gonna intensify, because I've had it happen in my own life. So I don't want to get too deep with it because we're not trying to let him in the room. But Akanksha, I would love to hear your perspective. How are you today? That's a beautiful picture. I love that you came and showed up in the space. What's up, girl?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Meg. Hi, Meg. Hi, all Cityness and Jessica. Good to see you here. I really love this topic about, yeah, it's so important to have the discernment and trust your intuition before expressing yourself and coming up on spaces. Even before coming up as a speaker on spaces, I tune into my intuition and ask myself whether I should be speaking onto a spaces, whether how aware the audience is, whether they're self aware, and do they have the capacity to hold space for me? Because, like Ness rightly said, that I may very well keep somebody, I might be very discerning, I might be very intuitive and compassionate, but the other person might not be. And that really affects your energy. And I've witnessed it myself. A couple of days ago, I was hosting a space, and then I'm this person who's very kind and compassionate. Like, I host space so that I could hold space for people so that they could come and express themselves. So my idea originally was to let people come and express themselves in a safe setting, but something wrong went through, and I had like things messed up and escalated to the point where it was really bad, because this person, she was being vulnerable, and this space was about mental health and something in that regards, and the speaker was expressing herself and being vulnerable and things like that. And then there was this other person who hijacked the space and started talking bad about her, and that was so bad. I felt so bad about doing that. And I felt sick after doing that, because I literally took on her energy. I'm an empath. So I felt that I, like, energy vampires are real, and it's not just about people in real life, it's also about coming onto these spaces and people actually sucking on your energy. And I realized that day that not everybody is your friend on the internet, and it's very important to trust your intuition before, you might have the sweetest intention of holding space for somebody and just talking something and expressing yourself, but the other person, he or she might not be as emotionally mature as you are. And you never know what's going on in their mind, what might trigger them. You might very well say something with good intent, but you never know what might trigger someone. And your intention might be very well to serve that person, but you see, like, you've pulled on the trigger for yourself. And I witnessed it myself, and that was so stupid, but I learned my lesson. And I really like what Jessica said, that if you're not able to be in a spaces where you could express yourself, create those spaces. And I learned that lesson that day, that it's important to create safe spaces for people, because yeah, there are people who would genuinely want to hold space for you, be kind, compassionate, because we need to express ourselves, right? That's the whole point of social media. It's not just about fakely putting on filters and showing all the good side of your life, but it's also about being real and being there for people, because you never know, your story might inspire somebody and might literally save somebody's life. But you also need to be very intuitive and discerning about who you're sharing that out with. And thank you so much, you guys are such a good audience, and I'm so happy to share this out. Thank you so much.
Yo, Akanksha, that was fire. Like, I wish there was a fire emoji so that I could like light it up in here. But bro, it's getting lit in here. Like, it's deep and it's good, and I love it. I love deep conversations. You like oh my god, there's so much to touch on from what you just said. First off, girl, if you the host, know that you have the power to control the space. You know, like if you came in here doing what you said that person did, boom, out, block, bye, never seeing you again. Protecting your energy is so important, and know that you have the ability and you have the power in real life as well to accept whatever prophetic word you have. Tiffany Montgomery, I was talking about her today. She is a Christian woman. She has this fast called the Year of the Bride. She says, when you start doing good things for your life and good things start happening to you, bad things start coming up. It starts getting all crazy and messy, and you're like, what is going on? And you know, I'm getting deep right now, but like, you don't have to accept everything that people tell you. You don't have to accept everything that people have in terms of feedback. I think it's good to say and ask, hey, how can I improve on this? Even though you think you're A1 and you're 100% good on everything, it doesn't mean that you have to come and accept, like, what if someone came in here and said, you know, you can improve on like doing less spaces? And you can take that, you can observe, you can think on it, but if you come to the conclusion that that's not what you should do, don't listen. You know, it's like, thank you for your feedback, but I'm gonna keep it trucking. So I don't want to talk too long, but Akanksha, you're more than welcome to stay up on the space, and on the stage, of course. There's going to be more questions. We're actually going through the questions without me asking the questions, so that's a great space in my opinion. Success. But Callie,
Real quick,
sorry, yes, all
real
city,
quick.
go ahead.
Akanksha, if you need a bouncer, just holler at me. Send
Ooh,
me a DM. I'll bounce somebody out quick.
pow pow.
All right, I got you. If you're too nice to flip out on somebody, I got you.
Yeah, I was
There
about to
you
say
go.
that same thing. I was going to say the same thing. Like, you know, if you feel like somebody's having that negative energy in your space, um, you don't really necessarily have to block them, but you can easily kick them right off the space. But you know, we're not doing that today. Out, you're out of there. And I have done that. I had to do that at least one or two times. Not my last space. I let them cook to the point to where they need to get what they need done. But that was about it. But other than that, yeah. So I know that Mr. Or whoever, uh,
I think Cali
Kelly
Speedway was
Speedway.
next.
So go right ahead, Kelly Speedway.
Hey, can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
you're good.
A100%.
Oh, thank y'all so much. Listen, I'm late to the space, and gosh, I hate that. I know so much was touched on, but I had to sneak in here. Um, Akansha, thank you for your words. Uh, Megs, Jessica, everybody in the space. I don't know if I'm seeing everybody, but it's spaces like these that are going to eventually get us exactly where we all know we're going. The work is getting harder and easier at the same time. The work I'm talking about is the energetic work. Everybody that's being called, awakened, guided, whatever you want to say right now, it is, we just got to kind of speak the facts. It's what's happening. And that's how come we are starting to mingle and talk and speak and be attracted to one another. So it is very important to protect the energy. And I love to say this: send the hate away with love. And what that means is get them out of there. You know, lovely though. You know, what I've learned and what I know is whatever is kept in love, whatever is left in love is kept in love. And so utilize that power every single time. It don't gotta turn. Hate gets more hate, gets more hate, gets more hate, gets more hate, gets more hate until the love says, hey, I'm here too, you know? And I'm only using those two words right now because that to me keeps it kind of simple. You know, love and hate, or negative, positive, light and dark, all the same thing. But when it comes to the expressing piece of this, and I know it's already been said, make sure it's the safe space. It ain't gonna be every place. Sometimes we're as as high vibrational energy, we are just going in a place to observe. Sometimes not even to speak, just going in to kind of say, who's in here? Is there anything sweet in here? Is there love in here? Is there any, guidance in here? And the way to learn that is you go in, you listen. You may follow a familiar PFP into a place, but I'm gonna tell you, it's all self work, because then that's gonna be what you're attracting. You understand? Like, I'm seeing Jessica's PFP. I'm around Jessica enough to know go in that space. I've seen Meg. I already know what Meg so far has shown to me. And that's what everybody, it's so far has shown to me, or what I've felt in the presence of these people. And please, you guys, as Akansha was saying, this stuff is coming through the phones. The energy is coming through the phones. Don't negate the feeling. Okay. Because just like we can get it musically, we can get it via the space, the voice, all of that. So don't say, well, it's just the spaces. I'm not. No. If it ain't feeling right, if it's not where you're supposed to be, get out, quickly. And if they're in your space, send them away and love peacefully. Like, that's all they got to be, because it's serious what's going on. The light's connecting with the light, so we definitely got to be protective of the energy. And in that, I think we'll know what to be sharing in those spaces. Like now, how I can come in here and run my mouth freely, thank God. But no, because I know where to be with the energy. And just a little bit, like we all say our thing, and then we get down and we kind of reflect on what's being said. And if it's for you, then you're getting it, taking it, and extracting the good energy from it and creating it to something new. The energy doesn't die. It only gets made over and over. And it can get, it can get like we know it can get, but it can also get very good. Megs, I think it was saying, like, when it comes to the devil or whatever thoughts keeping you low, that's how you know time to move away from that. So it is gut and intuition, and all of that's going to come with meditation and healing. It's an everyday thing, y'all. Be careful, but be mindful, but be aware, but be loving, but be caring, but be stern. We got a lot to do. You can hear where I'm going with it, but I love all of you guys. Keep fighting for it. And we in the right place to express today, the empowerment time. I'm happy to be here, and thank you.
Thank you, Cali Speedway. Like always, you have such great things to contribute to the conversation. So please feel free to raise your hand again. Like I said, we got lots of stuff coming up. Jajakal and then Jessica. And then I do want to touch on some relationship dynamics now that we're in the topic or segue of talking about environments and your community. But Jajakal, how are you? And what do you got for us?
Okay, so I have two things. It was just one thing, but Callie mentioned something that I think mentioned with Jessica. And, a lot of times I hear on this app, it's just Twitter, it's just the internet, like stop, getting your panties in a bunch, stop getting upset, whatever. But no, this is real still, right? You're still getting the energy through the phone. You're still getting the positive energy, the negative energy. And so I can't stand when people dismiss, even like internet relationships. And I'm not just talking about romantic, I'm talking about friendships. People dismiss them. That's just an internet friend. Well, I've had internet friends for years that I still talk to and connect with that help me and I help them get throughout the day, right? But the other thing I wanted to touch on was spirituality. See, I used to be a Christian myself. I kind of identify as a syncretist agnostic right now. But over the years, I found for me personally, not having something to ground yourself in on a spiritual level, it's very difficult to get through life for me personally that way. Whether it's a philosophy, whether it's, whatever I can find to ground me on a spiritual level, because I believe the universe is made of energy. God is energy, whatever you define God as. And I think anybody who can find peace, whether it's through Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever they can find peace through, that's a beautiful thing. And so in your life, even if you're an atheist, try to find something to ground yourself in, because at least for me, it drives me insane. It gets me into this nihilistic, fatalistic state of mind where I start self-destructing because nothing seems like it makes sense. It seems like nothing matters. And on a cosmic level, maybe nothing matters, but here, right now, in this very moment, everything matters. This conversation matters. We matter. And so, yeah, I just wanted to. I think Ness is the one who brought it up about, praying to your higher power. I think finding something that can ground you spiritually is very important.
Yes, finding that foundation where it all stems from, what makes you happy, what creates passion in your life. Jessica, I thought you was going, girl. You
Girl,
back?
look, don't call me out like that. Damn. Okay. Look, you hear my daughter, okay? Look, no, I had two things. Well, I had one thing, now I have two things. The first thing is definitely I agree with the fact of friendships online. I love friends. I love people. I said that already. But I have known people on Twitter for going on 5 years, y'all. Like people that I literally we we're texting. I consider them really good friends, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love her. Like I love this person. Okay, or like it's just going through those moments. Like there are people that I literally share scripture with, and we pray, and we're like praying for each other, like situations that are going through in our life. Like that's the type of relationships that I'm able to build online. So I definitely think that do not downplay the relationships that you build online. Be very mindful that there are people sharing their lives. Literally, we are sharing some intimate pieces of ourselves. If you would have known me 3 years ago, you would not have known that I had kids or that I was married. You wouldn't know that because there are weirdos out here. Weirdos. And that was my way of protecting my energy and my family because I was like, I don't want anyone to have access to my children like that or to my relationship, my marriage, because I know that there are people out there who will have the intention of trying to come and mess it up on purpose, on purple, for no reason. Like, why? Anyway, so take those relationships seriously. Like, know that when you are connecting with someone, you're opening yourself up, but they are also opening themselves up to build a connection with you. So just think about that. Secondly, I'm an Israelite, so a Jew. I personally believe that anything when you have the good, yes, give praise, give thanks all the time. You know, all praises. But then when you have those moments that are difficult, you have your trials and your tribulations. Those are your tests to test. You know what I'm saying? The lessons that you have learned. I just put a tweet out. I was like, God is humbling me. He put me in a situation and he humbled me. Because just a week ago I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, I'm feeling myself. And then God is like, nah, sis, sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like you thought. And so now, and I know that when I have these hard moments and when I have these situations where I'm like, oh, I was doing good just a little while ago, I can have a plan, but I have to keep in mind that he leads my steps. Now I know everybody don't believe what I believe, but there are some people that might hear this and say, "Oh, you know, I'm planting a seed right now. It is up to the Most High to water it. It is up to Christ to water it. I'm just planting the seed. So I definitely think that anytime you go through something, thank thank the Most High that He is giving you that test, that He is putting you through that trial and that tribulation, because that's how you come out stronger and better, and you're able to share that lesson with the next person, and you're able to give Him that glory because you came out. You know, where I was a few years ago, I'm glad. I was homeless, y'all. I was homeless some years ago with two kids, couch surfing. Okay, so I know I know it. I know the struggle. But just know that there are people out here who are going to support you mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, and they're going to be all in for you because they believe in you. I believe in when I meet you and I talk to you, I believe in you. I have full faith that you have the ability, the capability, the skill, the talent, the knowledge, the determination to make your dream and your vision come to life. You just need somebody to sit here and be 100 with you. All right? I'm going to be 100 the whole time. And so if you tell me, hey, Jessica, I got this idea, I'm gonna be like, let's work on that. But let's put a pin in it and we'll work on it. Okay. Get to the whiteboard and let's figure it out. But anyway, I'm really gonna go this time, Megs. I'm gonna go, okay, because you called me out. I'm really gonna go. I'm gonna go to the listener section, but I really appreciate again, thank you. All right.
I
Bye.
was just playing with you, but yes, listening. I love when people are just listening too. So please do that. And if you get inspired, hop back up on here, girl. Let's go to Ness, All City, and then I do want to say hi to Jay and Okami. We'll go to you after because you must have come up on the stage for a reason. So let's let the co-host talk, and then we'll touch on whatever you guys have on your mind.
Wow, we really do think alike because I was about to go to Okami and my boy Jay over there because he's two of my homies that I follow for so long and whatnot. So I know they're gonna have some good hot takes. But I'm a little upset that she left. But I wanted to tell her that you know what I'm saying I understand the situation because I'm going through it right now myself. But I don't let anything put me down. I'm like yes, I'm in this homeless shelter at the time. At the same time, I don't let it get to me. I don't let it put me down because at the end of the day, guess what? It's only temporary. I'm not going to be here forever. But I will be on this planet spiritually, you know, a million years from now, just enjoying life and that as it is. But I will pass it to Okami because he was up here first, and then we'll go to Jay right after, if that's okay with you, Megs. And oh wait, but before that, no, we gotta go to my co-host. Gotta go to the co-host. Yep, co-host first, then Okami, then Jay. So go ahead in that order.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's skipping me. But I wanted to touch up on the whole internet friend topic. I was thinking like this is the main appeal for like these spaces for me has been like it's like a big like support group and I've kind of lacked that for a while now, and so I keep finding myself coming back not because of opportunity or anything. It's just like just sharing of ideas and learning from people and hearing their experiences and sharing my experiences, and just like I've learned so much just talking to people in here or just listening to people, and I do a lot more listening than talking. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's just I find it the main appeal, and I feel like internet friends, I mean, I don't like that idea. I mean, that means that you think the internet is fake, and it is. I mean, come on. There's a lot of fake people out here. We've seen it. We've witnessed it. We've encountered it, right? But there's a lot of real, and we can't just dismiss the real just because the fake exists. You feel me? Like it's like you said, there's God and the devil. We can't just let the devil win, right? Like the fake can't win. We got to keep the real out here. We gotta uplift the real. We have to preach the real, and show love to the real. And that's what I want to say.
Hallelujah, yo.
Okami, you there, bud?
Oh yeah, my bad. I didn't realize you called on me. My fault. I was doing something else. Anywho, yeah, this is cool. This space is great. Came in because I know Ness. He's been following me for I don't know how long, dog. It's been a while. I don't count days anymore. But yeah, about the subject of internet friends. I guess I was lucky, dude. I just kind of when I got into Web3, I kind of just got connected with the right people. I guess I kind of vibe with because normally in real life, like if I don't vibe with you, like it's cool. I love you from a distance type deal. But that's how I feel. But I met a lot of cool people on the internet so far. My little network grows each and every time with cool people who know like different skill sets. So it's kind of fun to learn from everyone I know. But also, I'm a Christian, so all my things, it's all God. You know what I'm saying? He helps me every step of the way. So blessed.
Say bless, brother. Jay, and then Kamzi.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? Um, Meg, sorry for being late. You said 2, and it was 2:24, and I was like, oh, I had to be somewhere. So I'm here. Anyways,
Excuse me. Uh, who is next?
Uh
Jay's talking right now. If you couldn't hear him, just go back down and then I'll bring you back up.
yeah. So
Okay, it's because I
I
think
just
I
wanted
cannot
to
hear him.
say.
Mm,
one second. Just request the speaker again. 1 second.
This happened to me again. It's like 2 days in a row. Oh shit. Anyways, so damn, what's that saying? Oh, I really just lost my train of thought. All right, so I think I'll just make it up as I go. Then, um, it's important to have listeners, right? All city's a good listener. He doesn't really talk much. He knows a lot about what I go through, what I've been through, what I'm still going through in these spaces because it can be toxic, right? But it's always good to have a really good support system, friends, community, what have you. That's good.
Yo, Jay, I think you're rugged.
I'm rugged. I'll be back.
All right, bud. Kamzi, how you doing this afternoon?
okay. Hi everybody. My name is Camila, but I really appreciate people calling me Kamsi. I am from Ecuador, a country in South America, and thank you, Meg. I just met Meg today. Thank you for letting me be here, and I wanted to share my thoughts. It's my third space, by the way. I was struggling getting into stage and speak with people, but I feel more comfortable when I know somebody and putting good topics, sharing wellness. I'm a little bit late because had to I have to finish a logo. I'm doing graphic design, so about expressing yourself and sharing too much. I was listening the panelists, the speakers, and I think. Uh, yeah, like you have the power to accept uh, or to maybe block what when something is very negative, or maybe take that as a good feedback. I think it is important to follow your gut. Also, I've learned that words are like spells, so we do need to be very careful with what we said. uh, but also when emotions are strong, you have strong emotion that you want to scream, cry. um, Somebody said that it could be really helpful to write it down and to be aware and take a moment, to breathe and and think it twice. Sometimes we forget about that, and in repetition is I think this is a great community, and to repeat ourselves what we should or can do in these situations. And sorry if my English is not the best, but I'm trying my best. And thank you so much. That is what I wanted to share with y'all.
Yeah, I love that you said a lot of what we had talked about. I like you said, it's good to repeat, and it's good to maybe you were sent here to be a friendly reminder of everything we've been talking about. Um I know that you had expressed to me your motivation to do more spaces. So definitely stick around. And if you can contribute to the topic, please raise your hand and we got you covered. We will give you the time. I do, before we go to Jay, I just want to ask maybe a question. Jay, you're welcome to say whatever you want to say as well. But just the question of basically, so we talked about like the cultural norms, understanding of course what it means to express yourself. We've had a lot of that conversation. um I'm wondering though, like with your environment, I don't remember the exact words Kamsi said, but what if you were getting feedback or constructive criticism about your expression from your family? I know we talked a lot about friends or colleagues, but you know, like let's say your mom, like, okay, so I posted a Facebook status. My mom, she must have alerts on me or something because, dude, she'll be calling me like a second after I post and she's like, I don't like that. And I'm like, okay, can you tell me why? Like, you know, like am I supposed to just shut it down because you're my mom? but but I'd love to, you know, talk a little bit about that relationship between family and whether or not that is like the boundary or the breaking point of whether you stop expressing yourself or maybe even encourage you to express yourself more. Emotional intelligence as well, being self-aware, we've definitely touched on that, and just being aware that it's important to know your own emotional state before expressing um, yourself. We talked about writing it down, finding that channel or avenue to help with cultivating that self-awareness and being able to gauge appropriate levels of expression so that you're sending out good energy and receiving good energy back. And yeah, let's start with that. JC and then Jajako.
Yeah, so I just I separate the two. My mom daily sends me WhatsApp messages from all social medias ever since she got her iPhone since day one. So what I do is I used to be on Facebook heavily posting nonstop, and a lot of like I feel like the older generation is still on Facebook. So I just refocused on my attention to Instagram and TikTok, and they have Instagram too, but they're just more comfortable with Facebook, you know, because they're old. So I just post on Instagram, and I just avoid that confrontation until I get home or I visit them, and it's a conversation. Like, did you see my 12,000 messages? And I just nod my head, like, yeah, super super informative. Thank you for sharing every time you do it. I love you. Hug, kiss. See you next time. But honestly, I just have to keep it separate because I do get those responses like, "Why did you post that? You know, you have work. You shouldn't do that. What if your job sees it? What if so and so sees it?" I just keep it separate. I just avoid it at all costs. And I don't think I'm the only one. Is it wrong what I'm doing? That's probably a different question. But yeah, I'm just
We
off
did
Facebook.
actually talk about like environments and like for example with your job, like I've in the past had friends post something on social media and their job not really resonate with what they were saying and get booted for it. So I for one, I may have said my name in other spaces, but I try not to be so exact with what my name is so that if you do search me, all the positive stuff come up and not like the deeper things. But I'm also very like in real life I can be in I think an overshare where I express myself too much. With family, I just realized as you said that comment, I was like, what if my mom listens back on this? So mom, I am I love you, okay? And I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but like I didn't do anything wrong this morning, okay? Like it was a solid comment and post, okay? But no, I was just like, damn, she is invested in a lot of my stuff, so maybe I should apologize to her. So That's a great point though. Is I love the mom comments. Like my mom, she'll not call me for a whole day, and you know how I know she's thinking about me, because she'll go through every post and like and comment literally everything on my Facebook timeline. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. You didn't talk to me today. That's solid. Jajako, what's up, dude?
So, kind of feel that I wanted to bridge off of something Kamsi said, but I'll answer your question. What is your question again?
Yeah, it was around the lines of like we spoke about like having a good friend group, maybe putting yourself around people like colleagues that can help you grow. But like, what happens if like your mom or dad doesn't agree with how you're expressing yourself? Like, what would your stance be on that, and how would you react to it? Does it matter? And maybe even are there generational or cultural differences in communicating with your family?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, growing up, I was kind of like I don't know how to describe it. So like I used to talk really low, and people couldn't understand me, and part of that was because my family was yelling at me for quote yelling. You know, they would say, "You're yelling. Stop talking so loud." And I didn't realize I was. Maybe to them I was, but it got so bad to the point where when I spoke to people, they couldn't hear me, and they would be like, "Hey, what? What was that?" And so, expression with family growing up, I felt like it was kind of stifled. We weren't allowed to express ourselves as an adult, though. I mean, it's like most of my family I love from a distance. If that makes sense. You know, it's just better that way. My mother, though, she she'll support me. I mean, she may not agree with everything. Like I have some hippie like things on my wall in my art in my room, and you know, one about the chakras, one about just um, it's a mixture of different things, and I've dabbled in like Kabbalah and um, mystical Judaism before, and she's kind of like she's a Christian, you know. She's like, oh, I don't agree with that, but with her, I mean, it as an adult, it hasn't affected us, our relationship. Um, rest of my family, I can't speak for them. Was it JC talking about Facebook being for old people? It does kind of feel like that, doesn't it? Like I haven't been on Facebook in about 12 years, um, and the only people I know who use it on a daily basis are boomers, right? So yeah, it's not something I struggle with now, but growing up, it really hindered my confidence because I didn't feel like I could be myself or express myself because when I did, I was shot down. And but as an adult, thankfully, I don't have to deal with that.
Thank you, Jojako. Thank you for being on the stage and putting in your perspective. I really admire um, your opinion on expressing yourself. I think sometimes I come across your posts and I'm like, wow, that's a mystery of what he's going through, but it's so deep and so like poetic. I think you should definitely keep it up. You have something creative going there. Um, let's go to Kamzi and then Real Cats.
Yeah, I just want to share what I agree what JC said, that it's not the same like sharing something in Facebook or Instagram or X. For example, in on Instagram, I kind of share uh, more things about my personal life. For example, recipes and fitness and perspective on global warming. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And about blocking your parents, like at times I had have done that because yeah, sometimes they disagree on some things, and but right now no, right now I actually share everything. Uh, Thankfully, right now you have like this setup which is best friends, so now you can like separate things. And yeah, just I have to go, but it's been great to come into the space and talk and meet you and I hope I can talk to you soon.
Thank you, Kamzi. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. Thank you for stopping by and putting yourself out there and coming on stage. I appreciate your time and your energy. So, yes, definitely. You're more than welcome back anytime.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Hi, Real Cats. Thanks for showing up in the space.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I love these conversations and discussions. I listened into the last one and I'm luckily able to participate in this one. So I love the question, when is expressing too much too much? First of all, I would agree about Facebook. My generation, I'm 44. I am a Gen X, although I am both boomer and millennial adjacent. And I have a lot of friends in each of those groups. First of all, when I was teaching, we actually did have so I'm a teacher. I teach adults now, but I taught middle and high school full time at a public school for many years, about 14, 15 years. And so the rule for that was this: you do not post about your specific circumstances in the school. You don't say, man, this student is a pain in the butt, because with Facebook specifically, you're going by your government name, and it's different. And I also had rules. We also had rules about you do not be friends with your students. Every once in a while, people did. That wasn't quite as cut and dry. But what I would tell my students was, so we have FaceTime. And I said, not like the app. We actually get to spend time face to face because we're student and teacher and we're in this community. And I would tell them, like, when you graduate high school, you go out and do whatever you're going to do, get your job, go to college. And if you still want to be friends with me on Facebook, I will totally be your friend. A few of them have. Now, fast forward to today, I've been on this app, on the X app, this is going into my third year. I started a Twitter account or an X account many years ago, but I never really used it. Well, when I got into the Web3 space, I thought, oh, everybody's here. Let me go ahead and start an account. Here is so different. Like, my name is Sarah. I'm totally doxxed, but here I have this different moniker, I guess you would say, this, I guess, kind of a different identity. And every once in a while I forget, and I will have something like, if I'm going to post these reels on Instagram, they automatically go to Facebook. And sometimes the audience there is different than here. So I just find it's so freeing here, because when I came here, I said, I'm here for the music, the art, the community, the growth, the technology, the learning, and friends. With Facebook, I found that everybody was sharing their opinions on everything. And I didn't mind that per se, but sometimes I'd run into people in a grocery store and they would have been in this political argument with somebody else. Or it was like, wait a minute though, if I saw them in the grocery store, we probably wouldn't talk about this. We'd probably be like, hey, how's your mom and them? And we would chat and stuff like that. But I thought, wow, this is so much. And during all the election cycles, I was like, I would get frustrated and angry, and I would hide people on Facebook. I wouldn't block them, I wouldn't unfriend them, because that was kind of a big deal. But then one day I looked at it and I was like, I have no friends. And I was like, oh, I hid a lot of these replies because they were kind of triggering to me, partly because I thought, well, only under these circumstances are people talking about this stuff anyway. And so for me, it is just so different here. I love to be able to have a different kind of approach to it. But yeah, I find that it is a totally different environment over there on Facebook. And here, just to wrap it up, sometimes I will just say whatever I want and need to say, and it is freeing here. I have very few of the people in real, like, that I would see on a regular basis that are friends with me here on this app. But I don't know, we have something really cool and special here.
Thank you, Real Cats. That's awesome that you provide that outlet for your students to still grow with you. I love a teacher that keeps in contact, because sometimes you remember things from, back in the day, and you're like, hey, tell me more about this. So, All City, got your hand up.
That Facebook thing is so real,
Yeah.
right? Like, be hard body on Facebook, and I total oversharing on there, like crazy, because it's just me, like my homeboys were on there, and then the old people came in, and it's like my parents are there and grandparents, and then it became like, yo, like, why is my dad arguing with my wife's aunt, and like about Trump, and I'm like, okay, I can't be on here, bro. I'm done with this. Like my like this these like it just got way too personal, and then like I don't like you guys might I don't like share my pictures and stuff on here. I'm scared it becomes Facebook. Like I'm just like frightened that it just becomes that whole personal thing all over again. Like I'm pretty open, but it's just like I try to keep that wall like because honestly like even on Facebook is like coworkers and clients and like I don't even want to deal with any of that on this space. Like I just want to be able to express myself and like just be out there, and not have to feel like somebody's watching me all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll go to JC and then I'll touch on some points. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I try to make the space at least 2 hours. So we're coming up on about 30 minutes or so. But JC, I want to, hear a little bit about what you got to say. And then I'll just kind of wrap it up and then we'll have some closing statements by the speakers. If you guys don't mind, please stay on the stage. I'd love to hear your closing thoughts. And then Cod Sterling and Chelsea. Chelsea, thanks for being here. I see that you listened to the whole thing, and if you're wanting to say some closing statements, definitely come up, say a few things or two. And then Cod Sterling, of course, you're more than welcome to come up as well. I'm happy to give you that time to share your thoughts on the topic. JC, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I wasn't gonna ever show my face on X because I am glad that it is separate from like real life, and I didn't mind not sharing my face, but I do feel like when people see your face, they automatically assume everything about you based off of how you look. Um, they automatically prejudge you, assume I don't know if it's like race related or what have you, but their perspective on you completely changes once they see you. Um, so far, I haven't had any bad, not that I know of, based off how my face looks. But I will say that when I started to go to like events, Web3 events a couple years ago, um, they were looking for someone that looked Caucasian or that looked Indian. I was told. Uh, I guess I don't know. I guess that's how I sound. I don't know. And I was standing. I'll tell you a quick story. I was in Manhattan. I went to this event. It was called Crypto Mondays, and I was wearing my project's merchandise, and I was literally standing outside the building, and we're talking about this guy named Jay Connects and how someone's looking for them, and they went upstairs and looking left and right. I was on the phone with that person. I was right across. Like I literally was looking at them. I knew what they looked like because they posted their picture, and I'm like talking to them through text. And the same person and everyone there gave me a head nod, but didn't like ask me what my name was. No pound, nothing like that. But they're looking for me because they wanted me to come up and like speak on this panel or whatever, whatever. And I didn't even know there was a panel. I thought we are just coming to a bar to hang out, but whatever. So then someone comes back down. He's like, he said he's here. He said he's outside. Now, mind you, there's only like 5 people outside. There's like not a lot of people outside of this building, and and 3 of them know each other. And there's one other guy, and the guy that's there is not part of the facilities. He's actually trying to call a cab. So they tap on his shoulder. They say, "Hey, Jake and X." He's like, "Who?" And I'm there, and I'm just like, I'm laughing, and I'm like, "Hey, this has gone on for too long enough. Let me just say, say who I am." And then when I say who I am, I the reaction I got was immediately them leaning back, laughing, and go, "Oh." Oh, I'm definitely going to support you now. That was the reaction I got from this person. I'm not going to say who it was, what they look like, but after seeing me and connecting the dots, literally Jake and X, connecting the dots, that was the reaction they had. And then from there on, I've just been posting pictures of myself because I have gotten that reaction a few times. And then someone said jokingly that I'm basically, after finding out how I look like, it said that I'm like Obama, I guess, because now they found that I'm black. Well, before that, they were convinced I was Caucasian or Indian. But after seeing me and seeing my photo in different places, they just said that I'm Obama because I speak English. I proper English anyways.
Go ahead, Ness.
Yo, I can so relate to that. That's why, like, even when I used to be on Facebook, I pretty much cut that off. But just be on Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. I didn't dox there, and I used my Hebrew name, which is hilarious. I didn't actually use my actual government, so I used my Hebrew name on there. But on here, I did the same thing when I first started this account. My old account, I didn't dox or anything, and I had like damn near 69,000 followers on that old account. And that was on a different platform too. So I was basically on Twitter or X now, but I was speaking of politicians and whatnot. But they never saw my face, which is hilarious. They always knew what that. They always tried to figure out, oh, is he white? Is he black? But only like a few of them, especially ones that are out here in New York, they knew what I looked like. So like, this mother rugger, and they would curse me out every time. But then as soon as like they see me, like the ones that never saw me before, they're like, oh wow, you're just this short little black guy. Like, what the hell, bro? Like, don't give it the short shit, okay? Shit, I have a short complex, but I don't care about that. But no, I stopped caring about what people think about how I look like after a while because at the end of the day, it's all about the person's personality and the way they present themselves. That's the way I view it. I personally don't care what people think of me anymore. How I sound like and what I look like because at the end of the day, it is what it is. I know I'm doing. I know I look good to me. I know I sound good to me, even though sometimes I bash my own voice. But that's okay. I can do that because I'm confident enough to go. Hey, you know what? I may sound like shit now, but I feel good about myself. And that's one of the key things I like to teach people is it doesn't matter what you look like. Okay, if we meet in person and you're like, hey, hi, I know who you are, and like, yeah, I'm Docs. Who are you? And I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I will greet you the same way as I would greet any other stranger, with nothing but amiable means. Like I'll be nice to you, unless you come off like a douchebag. Then I'm gonna come off as you as a douchebag myself. So it all goes like that. But I'll pass to my co-host because I see his hand is raised.
Yeah, I was gonna say I totally identify with that stuff because like I grew up in the hood of hoods, and like I remember back, I might be aging myself, but back in the day there was something very similar to this, but on the phone called Party Line. And I used to be on the party line all the time, trying to holler at girls, trying to find parties, and like just just be a buffoon also because I used to play like I was Hulk Hogan and use Hulk Hogan's voice. But but the thing was is like everybody would be like, "You sound like a white guy," and like I'm like, okay, like I guess like I don't know, I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't like where I grew up with. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, and I grew up with nothing but black and Puerto Rican people, and so I mean, I actually barely, I didn't even hang out with white people till I got out of high school. Like it's just such a weird thing. But I like English is I guess technically my second language. I grew up speaking Spanish, but like maybe that's why I don't have that accent. Like I don't even have a Boston accent. I guess but yeah, that's I just totally identify with that because people would just judge me based on my voice and say that I'm not who I am.
Go ahead, Jotoko.
I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm beating the same drum, but I can relate to that too because I'm Puerto Rican mixed. So just like all city, I grew up in some hood. I all the people I knew were Puerto Rican, Dominican, Black, Haitian, Jamaican. You know, it was just a melting pot of I guess minorities. But some people look at me and they can't tell what I am because I'm light skinned, right? And they're like, "Are you white? Are you Mexican? Are you half black, half white?" Like I've gotten all of those, and nowadays it's easy to say I'm Puerto Rican mixed because technically that's true. But yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, dude, people don't even know that Hawaiian is a thing. Like they're like, "What do you mean you're Hawaiian?" And I'm like, what? And they're like, you mean you're from Hawaii? I'm like, no, that's a different Hawaiian. I'm actually both of the Hawaiians. I'm the one from Hawaii, and then I'm the native Hawaiian. And then I'm actually Puerto Rican as well, and I'm Portuguese, and I'm Irish. So I'm a mix, and Chinese actually. So I'm a mix of things, and they're like, "Wait, how can you be all of them?" And I'm like, don't get me through history right now. Okay, we can go back to the history books if you want. But to wrap it up, since it's at right now in Pacific Standard Time 12:42, I just want to offer up some influences, or influencing. Sorry, I'm on the wrong part. Strategies for effective expression. So, active listening. I've learned that sometimes coming into spaces, I don't have to quickly press the mic. I can just kind of sit back, listen, and that still makes you a confident person. Just being in the room and knowing that you're around the environment that you're meant to be in, that'll lift you up just by their words. That's all that you can really ask for. So that's number one. Understanding that others will have perspectives, understanding that there will be counteractive point of views that may not resonate with you, and you don't have to necessarily accept them. Empathy. Being, I think empathy means being aware that expressing yourself has to have an intention that is beneficial to both parties. Sometimes people express themselves and it's like, why did you have to say that? Like, that's like, was it the purpose of hurting me, or was it the purpose of making you feel good? So I think being empathetic to the point that not everyone deserves or needs to hear your point of view or your expression. Mindfulness, being mindful about the people around you. Read the room, the environment that you're in. If it's not the place or the time, don't express it. You can practice self-control, self-awareness as well. Being present in communication. So communicating with others, if you feel a certain way, especially if it's happening in the present moment time, communicate that. We can't read your mind. We're not psychic. I truly believe there's no such thing as psychic. No, I don't know, I'm not going to get into that. Self-regulation. Make sure that before you go and judge or test somebody else and the way they express themselves, make sure that you can turn the finger back at you and say the same thing about you. So I think that comes into play with asking others, what can I do better? Even though you think you're the best at whatever it is you're skillful at, you still have room for improvement and growth. And there's always time to grow. Setting boundaries. So I think it's important to know, earlier in the space, there was a woman who kind of said along the lines that she was having a hard time with her space and hosting it. Set those boundaries, set the pace, set the tone that you want. Before this space, I prepared both of my co-hosts with talking points, with questions, so that we could have a good space with a guided conversation. So I think that was a way of expressing ourselves and setting those boundaries. Recognizing limits. So there were many times in this conversation where I was like, oh, I'm not going to get deep with it because we don't need to start that conversation. And recognizing that there is a time and place and a limit to everything. Communicating your needs, making sure that you separate needs from wants. When expressing yourself, sometimes you want so bad for someone to listen to you and to hear you out, but is it what you need at that present time? So, those are my personal thoughts, my personal ways and thinking of effective expression. You definitely probably, and we've gone through a lot of personal experiences. leaders in the spaces in Web3 and Web2, how social media has played a part in trying to control the way we express ourselves. And I think there the answer to the question is there is such thing as expressing too much. And I think it depends on who you are as a person and your intention on when it is too much to express on. I see Joey came up to the room. I don't know if you were in the space earlier, but we're actually closing up in about 10 minutes. So I want to say hi to you real quick. And then maybe if Okami, Jajakal, and JC have some closing statements on how they feel the space went, maybe if you also have some recommendations on what we could talk about next, that would be great too. I'd love to get some insight and have the community kind of guide these spaces as well. But Joey, how are you today? Thank you for stopping by. You gonna say hi? You there?
Should be the bottom right of your screen.
Okay. Well, I feel you. I feel the emojis. I saw you throwing them up. So you was saying hi in your own way. Feel you. Maybe next space you can say hello and contribute to the conversation. I know we're wrapping it up. So let's move to Okami. Okami, how are you feeling about the conversation? Are you there, sir?
I am there. Sorry.
Okay, good. Yay.
I'm good. Yeah, I mean, it was a good combo. It's good topics, good things. Always appreciate good combos that are meaningful in the space. It's good to have a balance of both. Bozo hour and crypto hour, and personal, stuff going on IRL, whatever. Situations and stuff with internet and stuff like that. But I enjoyed it a lot. Appreciate it, Ness. For the invites. Always support the homie, and yeah, I'll be back. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty good.
Go ahead, Jojackal.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts. I think this was an incredibly well run space. I think you did an amazing job, Megs. I think the co-host did amazing jobs. I mean, I've been in spaces where it's nothing but chaos, and the host and the co-host let them go at it, and it can be fun. But when you're trying to have a conversation, there needs to be order. And I just want to say, the three of you did a really good job, and Megs, thank you for the space today.
Thank you. That was sweet. I got to give it up for my co host. I knew I picked two really good people to be a part of my team today. Um, I I think if you guys are looking for support in mental health, in music, in Web3, definitely give them a follow. They are really supportive to me. They've been friends, whether they think so or not, in so many ways. So thank you for being there for me and being here in this space. Jay connects. Do you like JC? I was like, I've been calling him JC. Maybe he wants me to call him by his full name.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Stopping my little one from going into the bedroom.
Oh,
Um, this was an awesome space, and I think the co-host did a great job. I'd love to see you guys do more of these spaces. And I like that you had the questions set up to pace the room and the interactions. That was good. That was really good. So keep up the good job. You guys are doing great.
all right. Let's wrap it up with the co-hosts. Let's go Ness and then All City, if that's all right.
All right. I was going to let All City close out, but yeah, no, I just wanted to touch up on just something that did resonate with me, especially with the strategies for effective expression. And one of them that I'm really that I utilize a lot is not just mindfulness, but also self-regulation. Like there are times I have to regulate how I say things and how I present things because words do have power. And I don't recall who actually said it earlier. I'll be listening back to this piece later after my space, which is in about 10 minutes. So I got to get prepared for that. But I do like that because, you know what I'm saying, if you're not regulating what you're saying, how you're saying things, it can have an adverse effect on another person who may be listening in or maybe having a bad day. And then you're just making it worse with your own words. So you just got to be mindful of that stuff. And just be cautious and careful of how you set the tone for your rooms and whatnot. Like I love the fact that Meg's here structured everything so well in the chat to where we had that just and I'm like, dude, I gotta utilize that because I'm normally just freestyling it and I could go right off the top of the head and I have everything already in my mind, but I don't have it written down. So I gotta start doing that for myself. I appreciate you, Meg, for having me, and thank you very much. And also to my co-host, thank you also for your support as well because you know what I'm saying. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. We thank all the listeners and speakers, and for those who will be listening later, we appreciate you and thank you. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please drop it down in the comment box if you're listening later on, and I will do my best to get back to them as quickly as I can.
Yeah, Ness is a beast at this. I guess he got the whole spiel down. Uh, so I don't have much to say else. Salute to Megs because honestly, she deserves a lot of credit. She was so prepared that I made fun of her. So I was hoping to be able to crack more jokes, and this wasn't the place for jokes. I learned a lot from everybody. Salute to everybody. Much love. Salute to Ness and Megs. It was a great first um, co-host gig. So much love, y'all.
Much love. See you guys next week. Give you back 8 minutes of your day. Have a blessed Sunday. Thank you for showing up and do the work, you guys. We got this. We got this. See you next week. Bye.
Let us get